94th time. This is where it changes this time.
Oh.
After the 94th loop, it goes down to the...
Did we remember to put batteries in the screen? Or? That time of year.
All right,
We should have
chat.
done it at daylight savings time.
Make your voices heard.
Set your clock back. Put batteries in your Twitch.
They say they hear the music.
Hello.
Hello.
They hear all of us.
Hello.
Okay. This thing, I just have to keep an eye on it. It's, oh boy.
Brooke's wrangling a rabid Wolverine over there.
Our equipment just all fell, and it's so snarly and furry. Okay. All right. On
Hi.
stream. Let's try this again.
Hey.
Welcome to the Jackbox Party Club.
Yeah. Nothing happened before this.
Nope. This is all going as planned, just like the music in our games always does.
Whoa, segue.
And we have our two in-house composers that do everything you hear, basically, with very small exceptions, I imagine, in all of our games. Brian Chard and Andy Poland, our two composers and sound experts, do all the music and sound effects that you hear in the games. I'm Ryan, by the way,
I'm Warren.
and on the Wheels of Steel,
It's me, Brooke.
totally composed and not yelling at the equipment at all.
Not at all frazzled, per usual.
We're going to play some Trivia Murder Party with these guys, but more importantly, if you have questions about the music and sound production of the games, we'd love for you to put them in the chat, and Brian and Andy can see and answer them. Do you have the chat up in some way, Andy? You might just have Twitch chat, actually. We probably should have given you...
Twitch chat?
We're on Twitch. We're on, like, all the chats, but we'll like, say questions out loud if that's better.
We're also rebroadcast on C-SPAN, so...
This is,
nice,
yes,
yeah.
we're actually preempting the impeachment to tell you.
We're taking some phone-in calls.
Here we go.
Okay, here's a good one. I noticed during Push the Buttons credits, starting from the lyrics, Dottie is your tour guide, there's a soothing female background vocal. Is that supposed to be Dottie? That was a question, I believe.
Is there a background vocal?
There is. It's actually, if I remember correctly, it's either me or Mike Finney singing falsetto.
Gotcha.
And sure, it's supposed to be Dottie.
I don't
Okay.
think I ever picked up on the fact that there was someone else singing.
Yeah,
gonna
it's
say.
mixed way. It's mixed way back. But
Gotcha.
I think it was Mike Finney doing that.
Do you want to
That's
tell
great.
the lore of Mike Finney, Andy?
Sure, Mike Finney. He's been singing for me for many years. I moved to Michigan in 2004,
No.
and
Try again.
2005. And I needed some singers for, I think, a Jack game we were doing. And so I texted this a cappella group at Michigan State University, which is right near where I live.
Always a dangerous move.
Yes. And
Now they won't leave my house.
they called the police. And then like 5 of them came over one day to like try out. And they were pretty good. They were all pretty good except for this one guy, Mike Finney, who could sing all these different styles, and he was very eager to learn about recording and everything. So he just kind of stuck around, and every time I needed a singer, he was around. And he graduated, and then he like decided to get another degree, so he stayed for another 4 years. So it was great. And then he graduated again, and then he went on a cruise ship, like as a singer on a cruise ship for a couple of years. So he wasn't around, but now he's back. He's in, I don't know, he's living somewhere in Michigan, and I call him whenever I need something, and he drives on out.
I feel
He's
like,
great.
for whatever reason, the Mike Finney that stands out to me the most is the Question 5 love song from Jack.
Yeah, that was amazing.
He's so good in that.
Well, that was funny because we did that, and it was just a short little thing, and then people seemed to like it, and I was like, wow, we should do a full version. So I had to figure out what the whole version of that short.
Yeah. I love that extended version.
That was very.
Brian or Andy, would either of you like to get in this round of TMP2?
Oh.
Or do you want to just watch?
I'd love to
I'll-
play.
Oh,
Come on, Andy.
Remember the early
I'll
days?
play.
You'll play? Okay. Andy, I'm going to Slack you the room code.
Writing for Jack Facebook and coming up with commercials, and it'd be one of those things like, I don't know, here's a dumb idea for something, and then it would come back and it would just sound like this fully produced crazy thing. Like, oh my God, I just wrote the dumbest thing I could think of, and now it actually sounds really good, and it's way better than what my idea was. Yeah.
The one
So, yeah.
that I can never get out of my head is Bedroom Buddies Fetus Doll Factory, which I think was an Andy.
That was my youngest child singing that one.
That is amazing.
Little Olive when she was, I don't know, 5 or 6. Didn't quite understand what she was singing.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to list off the games you worked on this pack, so people have an idea?
Sure. Push the Button, and Joke Boat, and True Murder Party 2.
I worked on the sound effects for Trivia Murder Party 2. It's easy for me to say. And Dictionarium and Role Models.
Yeah, the
All right.
bass and role models is instantly just like hooks you. I feel like the
Oh yeah,
yeah.
it's like one of our funkiest tracks, which
Yeah.
I would put almost only next to Madverse City and TKO. Also, super funky game. A couple screens ago, I believe House of Darkly asked, what kind of prompts or information do you guys get before you do the music about what the game is or what kind of tone to go for?
Well, I mean, the artists do what's called what do they call it? A mood board, and they will show different artistic ideas that they have, and we do a soundboard. So we throw together things that maybe we discussed with the artists, and try to show our concept of what the sound would be, and so we kind of feed off each other and come up with a
This
final
is your
design.
wake-up call. Prepare to die.
Speaking of sound, let me know if the game audio isn't loud enough or is too loud.
I think it's a little loud.
A little on the loud side
Loud.
for us, on the headphone side.
Yep.
Deadly
for us.
trivia game.
Someone's like, we can see the little webcam inside the little webcam.
Oh yeah, right.
Just sitting in
A little corner of Andy's screen.
I went there.
Talking about the way stuff goes back and forth, I remember like for Dictionarium, unless I'm remembering this wrong, I think it was the case, where like we were talking about something very sort of elegant because it was like a book of words and like very, and then we talked about, oh, maybe the host is this sort of wacky European character. And then I feel like you instantly were like, oh, in that case, European trance, like disco
Well,
music.
I want to give credit where credit's due. Tim Sniffen actually threw that part
Oh, really?
out. And so it was going to be classical, kind of stuffy library. And it's like, no, that's not quite what we want to do.
Yeah.
We want to, put a twist on it. And so that was Tim.
That came out so well, and it matches it supports the game so well. Zach saying that final note in the TMP2 credit song was great.
It's your best note yet.
Yeah, of all Andy's
Yeah, I've been saving that note for a few games. That was finally one where it fit. I don't even know what that note is.
Answer 2. And if anyone matches you,
Hey,
What's
Stod.
I don't know. I'll have to listen to it, but thank you.
and I do mean anyone.
What am I supposed to do?
All right, write any character in You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown, and hope it doesn't match someone else's.
Uh-oh.
Mine's probably going to lose.
Now, let's see if there are any matches.
Ooh.
It's a match made in heaven, which will send you to hell.
Well, nobody else said Snoopy.
Huh.
Sometimes you don't go for the... People
Yeah.
don't think of the obvious ones.
Anybody put Charlie Brown?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
No one right, Charlie, yeah.
No, Marcy, yeah.
You're not going anywhere. Remember, dead players are still players. Just more.
That's right, you can win the game.
Keep playing and you just
I know you guys
might
both
someone
worked
else's life
on
force and win the game.
TMP2. How did it compare in terms of the first game or other games? 'Cause I know it was like a very huge, complex game, right? There's so many little touches all over this game.
Let's keep
How did it compare?
Which of
I think
these
we challenged ourselves more because we were using this program Fmod where we could do some fancier stuff. So, we kind of, I felt more like I wanted to challenge
time's almost
myself a
up.
little more with the music and make it a little more, we could do funkier stuff with it. So,
Right.
I don't know.
This.
Is there any like specific thing that you could not have seen yourself doing in the first game because of the tech restrictions that you were able to do?
Consequences.
I think just have more control at any given point, like in the final round. Before it was just like these long loops that would just play through, and this time we could split it up into smaller chunks and kind of change. When the game changed, you could change the music a little more readily. So.
That's awesome.
That was kind
And
of
if
cool.
anyone does a better job than you,
I suck at this so
Yeah,
bad.
I'm gonna be dead.
You're lucky this is such a good letter, and I'm starting it now.
I love this one.
Dear local action news team, do you take requests? I would like to see more uplifting feature stories that share positive images and less segments about the crimes that I have committed. Viewers are tired of all the sad stories I am directly responsible for. Time's up.
Yeah.
Oh boy, that was bad. When I actually looked at it,
And here's how you
a
do
lot
it.
of misspellings.
20.
Did anyone do
Show
better
off.
than you?
Yes, they did. Definitely did.
Ooh.
You were not the best. That's not even close to what I said.
Oh no, I'm an idiot.
Well, you're not just finding that out now, are you?
That's a tough one.
Chad asked, what's the songwriting process like for you guys?
Brian, you want to take that? Or?
Everyone in my family is
It's usually one of two different ways. You either have an idea pop into your head, or for me, or just noodling on an instrument until something sounds cool, and
Let's
kind
try
of
another one.
woodshedding it until it comes out to be
Which of the
something
following
usable.
is not traditionally
Now,
white
what's this
chocolate?
technical term, woodshedding?
So there's actually a shed out back.
Yeah, I've noticed that shed.
Yeah. It's where we keep Mike.
I was told not to go within 20 feet of the shed.
Yeah, yeah.
You really shouldn't. Stuff will just fly out of there.
Time's running out.
My process is similar. Like,
Who picked?
unless I'm writing a theme song, and then it has to be, the melody has to be the name of the game.
Yeah.
Oh, me.
Like, which is the easiest way for me to start.
Yeah.
I just think of a melody that has the syllabic
Let's do a spooky
whatever
handwriting
of the game,
test.
and then I go from there.
Like Fibbage 3.
Exactly.
Aunt
Exactly.
Mildred is writing on
It
the
wri-
sticker.
it writes
Pay
itself.
attention to her unique handwriting.
Is it true that the Drawful one, which doesn't have lyrics, but is it supposed to be, it's Drawful, it's Drawful?
Yeah, totally.
That's rad. Because that's always what I say.
I'm pretty sure every tune
Let the drawing
has that.
begin. Watch closely. One of these new words will be a word written by Aunt Mildred's ghost.
It's hard to talk. I have new respect for you. You and I have respect now.
Yeah, so I was going to say, for the
Finally.
first time.
Words to choose from. Now, type the word that
How many
Aunt Mildred wrote
instruments
or
do you
die.
guys play? Would you guesstimate?
Just one at once.
Just one at once. Okay. you don't have like the one man band
Boring.
going.
Well, Andy plays drums and guitar and piano and bass and what else?
Kazoo,
Kazoo, electric kazoo, and acoustic.
electric kazoo.
I play.
I mean, we kind of cheat. Oh, Brian plays bass and guitar and trombone and trumpet, I think, and
euphonium.
euphonium.
Yeah, so
You phone it in, is that what you said?
like I have to tell you, Ryan directed 2 of the games I worked on. He knows.
Oh,
that.
boy. This is the worst brand new Euro trash. No.
We're here. Players left alive.
Someone asked, what was the hardest or most challenging game you guys have had to do? For each of you.
Where do peanuts grow?
Oh boy, it's a good question. Well, they're challenging for different reasons. After I answer about these peanuts here,
Yep.
hold on.
At Jimmy Carter's house. That's where they grow.
Almost out of time.
No.
I think some are challenging because they're like the last game in the production cycle, so it's July and I'm just starting.
Yeah.
So those are really challenging. Like faking it was
Ghost
pretty
got it wrong. Well, that
challenging,
sucks.
and push the button was very challenging.
Oh yeah.
Let's keep moving.
But some are challenging just because you
Which of these
can't
is not
find.
a Virgin Island?
It takes a while to find like the right style of music or the right palette of sound effects or something. So
There's a game that I'm still not really happy with the way the music turned out as far as the metaphor, and I'm not going to tell you which one that is. So
It's whatever one you were thinking
yeah,
about.
it's the one that you hate the most. That's the one it was.
I don't even remember the games that we made. So I tend to just try to forget them all once they're out.
Well, you also have that memento disease.
That's right. I have to take the mementos out of the olives before I eat it. I'm allergic.
Understood. I was just going to say, we've talked about this, you and I, but somebody just said in chat that they like the very odd time signature of the Role Models music. I remember you trying to teach me how to count in whatever it is,
Yes.
7/5 or something?
That's 7-4.
7/4.
There's no 7-5.
Well, listen,
So
Brian.
thanks for listening.
Okay. Wow, that's a good point.
But yeah, what was the inspiration for the Dictionarium soundtrack? Yeah, it's classical meets dance pop, exactly right. And it was inspired by some of the art that Tim came up with, and just us talking about it and the host.
It's pretty iterative. Like, you'll do something, and that'll make Tim draw something based on that, and then you kind of draw from him, in my experience.
Yep.
Andy, you're getting a lot of love for that lamp.
Oh yeah,
Do you love Lamp?
I love lamp. I bought that at a thrift shop in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
It's a lovely lamp.
It was actually supposed to go upstairs, but then my spouse didn't really like it, so it's now in my office in the basement.
Are we supposed to answer every question?
No, I wouldn't.
Just the ones you feel inspired to. Andy, I remember going to TwitchCon, whatever year that was, like 2016, after Party Pack 3. And I feel like the Trivia Murder Party end song came in like right at the last minute. And that was just one of those things I remember being like, oh, by the way, I wrote this thing. And we're all like, Jesus, this
Yeah.
is fantastic. Like,
Was that? I think that was the first credits song.
I think so,
Like, with
yeah.
vocal. Yeah, I think that was like a reaction to just everything else. I had to do something just for myself,
Yeah.
and I didn't think it was actually going to be in the game. And then I was planning on having someone else sing it, and unfortunately that didn't happen. So
I keep telling you that I want to hear more of your vocals left in because I always enjoy them.
well, they're usually left in because I run out of time. That's what happened with Dictionarium in the credit song of that one.
One of my greatest honors was getting to lightly collaborate with you, Andy, on the Jack stingers for full stream. I remember you sent me something amazing for like question 4, and I forget what it was, and I was like, what if it's I don't need you any 4? And you're like, yeah, I guess. I'm like, yeah, I got one. I got one hit.
Those, yeah, that's when people ask what's difficult. Those were after we did like, I don't know how many, Jack versions. Coming up with new question segues was always painful.
So
You could tell by the time I got to that last one. It's like,
that's got the great Spanish, what's cute 10 puppies Easter
that's
egg.
that's
Oh,
right.
I loved that. I got so excited when I heard it.
Not based on any real song.
No, never.
Time's running out.
Brian, did you do your own vocal? You have done some vocals for Jackbox stuff, right?
Once I did, and that's why I haven't done it again. I was asked not to. No, I let other people do the singing.
Well, I remember liking. Was it Survive the Internet? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember liking that.
It's only on the soundtrack. You cannot hear it in the game.
Oh, you know what? But I'm also thinking of you've done some Magic Tavern stuff as well, which is really funny as well.
If your password gets cracked, you die.
All right, Andy.
Andy, come up with a good password.
You'll never get this. Wait, we can do German words, right?
What?
Password on your device.
Not with 4 letters.
Get a clue if your guess is the right spot.
The Bart. The.
Anyone figures out the password before time runs out, I will reward
Second letter's U.
Okay.
What is
Hubs,
it?
maybe?
Third is R.
H is the first one.
you about what
H-U.
letters
H-U-R.
Hurt? No.
Hurls?
Hurl is right. That
Oh,
makes sense.
okay.
Wow, that's a good one.
And a good sound effect.
You know whose scream that is? That we've used for years and years and years? Allie Davis.
Wait, really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
The greatest scream that's ever been recorded. We've used it in so many games.
I had no idea. She was a longtime writer for Jack and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's written some
Former
stuff recently.
Jellyvision employee.
I'm making it here alive. But can you escape?
It's actually a horrible recording. It's completely
I'm going to give you a
slammed,
Yeah.
no ceiling, but it's great.
phrase. Tap each answer that fits the category and then press submit. Let's see
I know
the right
stuff
answers.
is we've got our chat
You move forward
like
one
blown up so we
space
can read
for
it
each
from a far
correct
distance.
answer.
So if we miss it because it scrolls by too far, feel free to throw your question in again.
Yeah, just repeat it.
You're a little bit closer to escaping. Oh wait, did you think it was going to be just you?
I thought it would
That's
be.
cute.
Well, you've played this so many times.
I didn't pay attention.
They will steal your life force. Then they can escape and
If
win
someone's
the
not
game.
actively saying my name, I don't really register it in my
Yeah.
head. So.
And they get a third chance. to
I'm
help
still
catch
reeling
up
about
to
the
you.
Allie Davis news. Like that scream is so great.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Time
That's
is
it.
almost up.
Tweet her about that.
Did you record it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
It might have been for a commercial too.
Yeah, I
Matrix
don't
characters.
recall.
Oh, I don't know. These. Sure, why not?
I don't think I ever saw the third one. I think I gave up after 2.
I did see the third one, and it made me dislike the second one more than I had.
Oh.
Moving on.
But they're fine. The first one obviously is the best.
Animals
Yeah.
that hibernate.
That's definitely what they were going for with the third one.
Yeah, they were like, we're gonna fix your opinion. Do you guys have any games that are like, I know we all love all games equally, but that stand out as like memorable or your favorites to work on?
You still
I think the favorite music I did for any game was Earwax.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's good.
That's
Your
some
Rex
of my
is great.
favorite stuff.
and I love the electronica style of that.
Yeah, definitely. I kind of grew up on that switched on box stuff, and it was
Time is almost
very
up.
fun to do.
What was the inspiration for the monster-seeking monster music?
Just a lot of the funk I listened to in college. A lot of the Gap Band and Prince and the Dazz Band and all those kinds of. That was big when I went to school in the late 90s. And
20s?
and then I always wanted to use a talk box.
Yeah,
So I bought one on Craigslist, which is really weird to buy a used talk box. You
Yeah.
have this like plastic tube that you stick in your mouth. It was some old dude I bought it from, but I boiled the tube.
boiling
we
the
say that?
tube, the anti-Coleman song.
It is a euphemism. But
Kind of a gimmick.
that thing's pretty cool. It's very hard to use.
Someone posted a second ago that they were exercising, and they love learning about these bops while suffering these squats, which I enjoyed.
I also enjoy that.
Thank you.
Time is almost up.
Brian, did you have a favorite game you've worked on?
I do love them all equally, but I don't know. I have fond memories of Trivia Murder. And that's what this game is. TKO.
Which you hate.
Yeah, which I cannot stand. I liked working on TKO. That was fun.
That was our first game together, I believe.
That's why.
Yeah.
Good answer for your
I loved that. I loved the soundtrack for TKO and all the little animal sounds as well, which
yeah.
I feel like you did a lot of and get people around the office to do.
Yes. I have to say my daughter is one of the voices. She'll be very happy that I gave her a shout out.
Which
So,
one is she? Do you know?
She is the little red and the little blue where they
The twin demon things?
Yeah.
Yeah.
to get all the right answers to escape.
She's very pleased with that still.
That's awesome. They're all great. I can't see who's in the lead because I'm too far away from the TV, but I'm excited for them. I misread this as metaphoric rocks. So I was like, well,
Someone says Brian does the best guitar riffs. He did the guitar,
Oh, we all got
the shredding guitar solo in the Trivia Murder Party 2 credit
That
song.
is a rad guitar riff.
Thank you.
That is
And the
amazing.
TKO riff.
Oh, no one's heard. I don't think any of the Easter egg ones are. I don't think you can hear them. I didn't boost the volume. Sometimes when you get that ending of the hotel blowing up, there's a guy that says something before. it
Wait,
blows up.
really? I didn't know
That
that.
that is some of the fun. I laughed so hard when Brian sent me those. My God, it is like it's such a like Monty Python.
Wait,
thing. Just
I
laugh.
want to hear these.
Yeah, now you just have to wait.
What? Okay.
They're so funny. You have
Wow.
to really listen.
So I have to be playing the game with headphones,
Yep.
which I am, and very carefully, and not be talking to you, Brian,
Exactly.
distracting me. That's
Should we
awesome.
let
That's
the
great.
credits song start?
Yeah, let's do. Let's listen to that, and also take a few more questions if we have them.
Congratulations to Zach on winning that game.
Well
Good
done,
job.
Zach.
Yeah.
A lot of people have been posting just general how much they love the music in the games, which is very, very true.
We'll let Andy sit in the clouds here.
Nice. Very soft. This credits the List of the Dead song was written and performed by my friend Randy Sly,
Yeah.
who is a member of the band The Verve Pipe. Do you know them?
Ooh.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yes, I've heard of them. I'm not.
He's an
Super.
amazing keyboard player, and he wrote this for the first version, and I just changed the sound of it, but it's still him playing it. So.
Nice.
That's awesome. I feel like I remember you mentioning at some point you wanted it to be reminiscent of the Incredible Hulk.
I sent him the Incredible Hulk YouTube video, and I said, "Can you do something kind of like this, but not?"
Yeah,
And he came back with like his first pass was this,
that's beautiful.
and I wept, and it was perfect. He actually did. Randy also did the music for a lot of the music for Bidiots.
Oh, really? I didn't know
wow.
that. Here we go. The 80s slasher version. Oh, I love it.
This is Mike Finney again.
Oh, yeah, doing the vocals?
Yeah.
Tried an easy password.
I actually have the lyrics somewhere.
We should post them.
Yeah, we could
Well, the,
do a
the
blog
handwritten
post
ones.
with the
I was
lyrics.
thinking we should give away like some sort of auction.
Yeah.
Oh,
or, you
that
know.
would be fun.
A winner could get them. I don't know where those are.
I hope on the other side is also like your grocery list or.
Well, it's funny. I have the first verse of Dictionarium that I wrote.
Yeah.
I woke up like one Sunday morning, and the whole first verse was in my head. So I ran downstairs and I wrote it on the scratch paper, and I looked on the back, and it's the research that my spouse does. It's like teen partner violence.
Oh,
You know,
no.
it's like really
Oh, no.
like awful, depressing stuff. But it's like, it's interesting.
And you were like, give me that. That's not important. Let me write down this funny song.
And you can see, like, I have, you probably can't see it, but it says vocabularium, extraordinarium, visionarium, and I cross out the ones I used. I didn't use bacterium.
Well,
But-
got to do a sequel then.
Yeah.
Camps to Hamsta asks, Andy, what was the deciding factor dishing the old retro final round TMP2 music, opting for a more horror movie-esque music?
Well, I couldn't reuse it because it was set up differently, and it didn't really kind of work with the new format. But then I thought it would be better to kind of match the conceit of the sequel. So it was more of a horror movie type thing, and I thought it would be fun to kind of follow that and see how it worked out.
Totally.
Try to make it fresh. Something new.
It's Doman says, Randy Sly's mom is my piano teacher.
Small world.
Really? Wow.
Apparently.
That's amazing.
Pretty cool.
I think they live in Dexter, Michigan.
Huh.
Parents.
That's cool.
Shout out to Dexter.
I love that.
Yeah.
That was unplanned. He just did that. So.
That's amazing.
Here's the Enter Sandman portion.
Yeah, I was going to
That's
say.
right. That's exactly where this came from.
I hope I don't die before I wake. I hear the Continental breakfast as coffee.
And that last line is straight from, well, inspired by the Key and Peele Continental Breakfast.
Oh, right, right.
Yeah, yeah.
To me, is probably the funniest thing I've ever watched.
That's awesome.
No.
A Spirit
Brian.
Guardian asks, when are we getting a clean version of the Jack Bingo music, which I love from the ride, and I actually have found that on Boot before when I was thinking of something else, but it's in all the parts that's needed for the game. Like it's
Right.
like the 1 second,
Right.
3 seconds.
Yeah, we had to cut it up. Yeah. I don't know when you're going to get that. Next week for sure.
If someone
I'll
can
assign
send me
a
like
task.
if someone can send me a SCSI cable, I could probably get it off an old
Yeah.
hard drive.
You guys remember that Todd Rundgren played on the theme song for the ride?
Yeah, I was going to ask
Oh,
about
really?
that. How did that
Yeah.
happen?
Harry had some connection somehow that, Todd lost a bet somehow, I think. I'm not really sure.
You know, a lot of people end up working for us on Lost
That's
Bets.
true.
That's how I did.
We said, Andy, if you can't spend this night in this haunted hotel, you've got to come work at Jackbox. Did you get to meet him?
No, the sound was, the tune was sent out to him. He was in Hawaii even back then,
Wow.
which I think he still lives there. So
So-
he hasn't called me in a while.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Let's take some questions people submitted
Oh, yeah.
on Discord. All right, guys. What comes first, the look of a game or
Chicken
the
or the egg?
sound of a game?
It depends on the game, really. I think sometimes they're simultaneous. Like when Joke Boat, there was only one way I could go with that one.
Yeah.
You know?
I love the Margaritaville sort of inspired.
Here, we could switch over to.
Yeah, because with push the button, I don't know. We didn't really have a look. We had a idea of an area Bruno wanted to look at, but we were tuning in on like 70s action shows, space shows pretty fast to at least get a jumping off point.
Yeah.
Because I think there was part of me that wanted to do something like Buck Rogers, and then we just found then like on the YouTube selected, or what we recommend this for you, we started finding other stuff, and I think like Emergency 911 or something like
Yeah,
that.
the old show Emergency.
Emergency.
It has that.
Yeah.
It has like an alarm.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that the Is that the Shatner one?
No, that's the one with Randolph Mantooth.
No, okay. All right. No, let's not go making up names.
It was Randolph. And yeah, I think they've kind of remade that show now with Peter Krause's. It has whatever that show he's in now. It's like Emergency, where basically, although in the 70s it was always like some kid was riding his dirt bike and he went off a cliff and was tangled in some power lines or something. Like, oh no! And there was always like two really scary ones like that, and then there was like a funny one where this old couple was having sex in the dryer and they got stuck. Or something. It's like, oh no! What do we do?
I missed that episode.
Having sex in the dryer.
Right.
It's an industrial dryer. We had a question. Would you guys like to see a Jackbox game that's based around music? It's kind of like Joke Boat, but riffing on making your own music in some way.
I would love to see that.
Yeah, we've tried different. I mean, occasionally some ideas come up, and I don't know. It seems like a great idea, and then it's like I think about how much we'd have to do to put it together, and then
It's hard.
Yeah, if it involves too much work on our part, we're really not into it. So
That's fair. Says the guy who did a demo that was entirely text to speech before we could do that.
which actually that was an early iteration of that was more of a music.
That's right.
creation Idea. It had a long journey before it became Madverse City.
Yeah.
So maybe there's some ideas to be gleaned from the early stages that we haven't done yet.
This is a very general question. You've already kind of touched on it, so maybe you can focus this down to like maybe your favorite example of this. But it's like, how do you begin making a song? Like deciding notes, instruments, other elements. Is there like one that like felt particularly rewarding to you? I guess like that clicked for you right away, or maybe one that was really frustrating. Just whatever jumps to your mind. Okay,
Andy, go.
so what was the question? Was how
Put
do we
another
start?
coin in Brian.
Yeah, it was a very general question of like, how do you begin making a song? Like deciding
I mean-
notes, instruments. But if you have like a favorite example of that, so.
Well, what we tend to do, I think both of us do this, is once you we figure out what the game is and what style it's going to be, you kind of come up with the band for that game. So it's you kind of figure out what the basic instrumentation is going to be. Is there a drummer? What kind of drum kit is he playing? What upright bass, electric bass? Is there guitar? What kind of keyboards or synths? And once you have that, you kind of make a template for that game, and that's your band.
Yep.
And then, I think it depends on the song. Sometimes I start with, like, if it's a really rhythmic kind of band, I'll start with a beat and then put stuff over that. Because if I know it's round 3 and it's going to be really upbeat, I'll start with an intense beat and then kind of add to that. But sometimes it's just a keyboard part or a guitar part that you start with and then just build around it.
That's interesting. You guys have mentioned that before, but I always forget about it. The idea of creating a virtual band that has these instruments, this number of people, basically,
Right.
and trying to make things work within that so it all sounds like it's from a consistent space. That's really cool.
How often would you say you change the music and sound effects? Is it like a frequent process? I mean, I feel like it is. Or do you feel like you lock in on something pretty quick? Or
It depends. I mean, there are times where a sound effect, you need to do it 3 or 4 times before you really find one that you like. But you get lucky other times and something drops in and sounds perfect. So
There's times when we change things and force you to redo it.
Totally.
this one's for Andy specifically. When creating the music for the final round in TMP2, were you inspired by the Jack Attack music of old Jacks?
I'll take this one.
I think, yeah, kind of. It's a similar kind of process and similar kind of build where you kind of start out with a basic loop and things get more intense. So it was similar to that. And that the goal is to like not get too intense too quickly, which is always tough. But yeah, I think they're probably pretty similar. It's always kind of daunting when I start one of those kinds of things.
Yeah.
Ideally, I can hear like the final thing completed, and then you just kind of have to subtract and get down to the beginning. But it was kind of tough for TMP2. I think I did a lot of versions of that before I kind of ended with what we ended with.
Yeah.
And I probably would have wanted to keep going, but we ran out of time.
I think my favorite one of those builds is Fibbage, because you need 8 to 9 of them, and it's like the first reveal, and then up an octave or up a step to the next reveal. By the end, it's like da 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 da.
That's the old. I mean, that's the key to my music is the half-step modulation.
Oh yeah.
But you can't start too high. 'Cause then it does get, only dogs can hear like the last couple of rounds. So you have to start really low.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I feel like when I watch streams of Push the Button, I always forget like when it ramps up in intensity, because it is such a like subtle thing, and it's like, oh crap, I forgot there's like a whistle that comes in. It's like sort of thing. It's like it's I think a perfect gradient of like stepping up slowly.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Jackbox game in terms of music?
I really like TKO. I enjoyed Gaspionage a lot. Those are
Gaspionage's spy theme is so good.
Yeah.
I had fun doing that.
And also all the sketches at the beginning are a great part of the audio palette.
The radio plays, yeah.
Andy, do you have a favorite?
I mean, like I said earlier, I think Earwax is a favorite, and I don't know. I think Monster Seeking Monster was pretty fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That's
a great
awesome.
one.
So this question, I feel like it could be a duplicate, which is how do you begin the process of making a game soundtrack? Is there anything different with a soundtrack versus just the game music?
Oh, putting the soundtrack together at the end.
Well, we have to take things that were loops and turn them into not loops. So
How do you do that?
I can't discuss that.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
Sometimes it's as simple as looping it a few times and then fading it out, but sometimes we'll come up with an ending that we'll have to record and graft onto it. And yeah. So
Every year, go ahead.
Okay.
Oh, do you need to make different, like, new transition pieces to link pieces together, or is that usually not the case? It comes like on a beat and it's fine.
Usually you don't have to do anything that severe, but yeah.
Cool.
every year I say, okay, next year I'm going to make endings for everything I do.
Yep.
So when we do the soundtrack, I'll just use the ending, and then I never do it.
Real quick, do you want to sell some stuff?
Oh yeah, let's pay some bills. A Friendsgiving giveaway begins tomorrow. Keep an eye out on our social channels for chances to win prizes. Brooke, tell me more.
I know what the prizes are. I have all the power right now.
Oh,
the
no.
powers of the prizes are
Wow, this is getting intense.
a full collection of all of the Steam codes for our party packs and standalone
nice.
games.
Ooh.
That is a $1 billion value.
And
I believe.
soundtrack. And a Jackbox swag pack that's going to get shipped to you.
Wow.
And $50 Amazon gift card.
Guys, can I enter this?
So there's different actions you can complete to get more entries, and that will be live tomorrow.
Great.
Awesome. Yeah, look for us on Jackbox Games. Jackbox Games on Twitter. Jackbox Games on Facebook. Play Jackbox Games on Instagram.
Yeah.
Any other ones we want to? Those are it, right? The big ones?
We could post it in Reddit.
Reddit.
Our subreddit is r/Jackbox Games. Is that how you verbalize that?
That's what I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, so check that out tomorrow and enter to win big
Pretty cool.
stuff. Okay. Tune into the first episode of the Jack...
Sorry.
No,
my
I got
handwriting.
it. Tune into the first episode of the Jack Lunchbox tomorrow at noon. What is this? think I
This
know, but-
is the new stream that Ben is hosting.
Right.
Every week he'll be playing a different non-Jackbox game with various Jackbox staff rotating in and out. And so tomorrow at noon we're playing I Love You, Colonel Sanders,
Oh.
the KFC dating sim. And myself, Flom, and Hector will be playing different parts as we go through that game. And we were going to have KFC delivered to the office, but they don't deliver to our office, so we're having Popeyes delivered to the office while we play the KFC dating sim.
Better.
That is not what the marketing company that made that game intended.
Yes. And then next
Better
week,
chicken.
Ben and Mark are playing Fortnite, but they're not allowed to use any guns or weapons.
Oh, nice.
So they're
That's
just
fun.
going to try to hide and survive as long as they can.
I'm a fan of this. Tomorrow, noon central. Check that out. And last card, Jackbox game titles are 35 to 50% off for PC, Mac, and Linux at shop.jackboxgames.com. Yeah.
Good job, Brian.
Is that
Good, wow.
is that most everything except for probably 6 or
6 as well.
including
Yeah,
6?
including
Nice. Get
6.
over
You
there.
can get a big discount on the brand new game. It's only been out for a month or something. Go get it. Shop.jackboxgames.com.
Black Friday starts early around here. Earlier and earlier every year.
That's right.
I think we talked about that slapping bass in role models. I think we should jump
Let's
on
play
in
role
there,
models.
yeah.
While we get into role models, someone asked, this applies to both of you, of what it was like making the commercials and sketches and songs for Jack. And, I think that applies to all the Jack games.
It can be lots of fun, and it was also a pain in the ass sometimes.
Yeah.
Because it was kind of on top of everything else we were doing. So when you had time to really work on something, it was a lot of fun. But a lot of times you just had to throw stuff together. But there's some good. I like the ones that there were. Was it Facebook where we had the short things like recipe of the day,
Yeah.
toilet paper? Those are great.
They're just little stings, yeah.
Yeah.
Cemeteries, mortuary.
Oh, that was one of my favorites.
My all-time favorite of those is still Tim Simeon, Chimp Mechanic.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's so good.
I had that stuck in my head for like a year and a half. But yeah. And then he makes a comeback in, well, not originally Patently Stupid in Jack, right?
Yes.
But then Dave borrowed him for Patently Stupid.
The
Yeah,
coffee
yeah.
cup in Octopus Coffee
Yeah.
has Tim Simeon on it. And then that same coffee is also in Patently Stupid.
Yeah,
right.
that's the coffee shop you
Coffee
start
shop.
in. Yeah.
Andy, I sent you the code in Slack
Oh okay.
if you're playing, if you'd like to join.
Andy also is the voice of Chalky the Chipmunk for old school Jackbox fans. And Old Man.
That's right. I am old man. You know what? I won't play this run. I'm just going to sit out.
Okay.
Okay.
Let everyone else.
Shizzle Squirrel. I don't know how to pronounce your name, Shizzle Squirrel. I always just sort of make it up. But wants to thank Andy for Guy Towers. This is his favorite host, or hers.
Hey.
Really?
Or theirs. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really hard for me to come up with that voice, which was.
My favorite
I've
part
seen
of
it.
this is like floating Andy around to different parts.
My favorite part, too.
Something everybody knows a little bit about.
I feel like these all would be good for us.
Star Wars is topical.
Okay, I could do Star Wars. I don't know. Villain speech also highly
Oh,
interesting.
that's
to me.
also very good. I'm going villain speech.
I'm locking it in.
All right.
Get out, Warren.
Well, maybe I should have played. Oh, well.
Well, do you want to restart?
No,
We
no.
could restart. We haven't
No.
even done one category yet.
It's okay.
If you had the hero
I'll look
timeout,
at the
what
questions
would you
here.
say to them?
Yeah.
So, on your device, you've got the names of your fellow lab rats. Drag each one to the role you think fits them best. That includes yourself. Oh, and you'll see a little
very
99%
fresh.
sign next to each role. Tap that to lock in the answer you're 99% certain will match what everyone else picks. I'll make it worth
Well,
your while if
I
you're
got put in
right,
the
so
audience.
make sure to pick
What?
someone.
Really?
What?
When everyone's
How'd that
figured out
happen?
their roles, we'll check
I
out
lost
the results.
Wi-Fi, and then I came back in on Wi-Fi, and I think it...
All right. Well, we have to restart
All right,
anyway.
Oh,
so
here we go.
it's
I got it,
me.
I got it now. I got it.
Oh,
it, like,
okay.
It had me in audience, and then I refreshed again. And
Everything just wants to keep me on my toes today.
Stod has a question here. Hi, Stod. About Head Rush.
Oh yeah.
Chatting a little bit about Head Rush.
Let's find out.
That was our kind of teen, you don't know Jack,
Let's look at those
um,
votes.
a long time ago. I don't really remember a lot about that. It was crazy. And
Our winner. Woohoo.
It felt right.
I like to
I
keep
co-directed that with
So
Michelle
maybe like
Gorchow.
nutritious science pellets.
And
Whatever your answers match the group.
I didn't do any music.
Whoever
We
has the
we
most
farmed the
answers
music
will
out
lab rat
on
of
that
the
one.
month.
Oh, really?
Plus, they're delicious.
This guy in L.A.
And
his
you
name I'll
earn
remember
the role
soon.
of the highly motivating audience bonus. I think that makes
And
both group
it was
wins.
great. I mean, we had these great artists that we were able to use for those animated question segues.
Yeah, those were like super unique segues. They all had sort of different style.
Yeah, that was really cool. And it was just kind of a blur. It was very dangerous because back then I hadn't directed anything, and it was kind of
Subjects
like
who already have a role can't get
whatever
this
stupid
so
idea we came up with, we were able to do. Like
Yeah.
I remember at the end, we're like, how are we going to get the Jackbox logo? And I was like, what if Abe Lincoln were riding a goat and he had a flag, and he went across and it was the Jackbox logo or Jellyvision logo, and he went the other way and it was the Berkeley Systems. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, what? That's not okay. And they did it. So
Here's
it was very fun.
and here's how you're doing on
The Easter eggs for putting swear words in the gibberish questions also involve the goat and Abe Lincoln in that game, and they are
That's right.
hysterical.
Andy, I think I've told you this before. I received Head Rush as a gift in the early 2000s when I was in my 20s, but an aunt picked it up for me, and I think my reaction was like, "Oh, that's great. I don't know what this is," but I kept it for like 10 years. And about the time, I think right before I started working here, I found I was like, "Oh yeah." And then when I worked here, kind of like, we made Head Rush. I'm like, "Oh yeah, I still have that. Still haven't
Well,
played it."
You missed out on a lot of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
One of my favorite parts of Head Rush is that one of the background tracks sounds like a little bit like Mbop. It's like clearly sort of a Hanson
Right.
riff.
Yep.
And that always sticks in my head.
Yeah. I don't remember what they were saying, but it was pretty close.
If I remember right, I don't even think I had a computer with a ROM that would play it.
Yeah.
When she got it for, I was like, I don't know what to do with this. Oh, let's see.
Oh, I know which one I want to be, but I think I know where people are going to put me.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
I'm going for the one I want because, damn it,
You
life's
have to be-
short.
Yeah, aspirational.
The other
Do.
questions here. Someone mentioned Autumn Dusk Feminine Spray. That was a good one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mike Finney sang that one. Again.
I'll take it.
That's the one I wanted.
Oh, sorry, Brooke. I would have given it to you had I known.
It's fine. It's fine. Role models is about truth.
Yeah.
And I have to face it.
Come on.
Someone asked, Sock Drawer asked if I am 2 ducks in a man costume.
And?
And can't really talk about that right now.
I thought not.
He's taller. He's 3 ducks.
Yeah, he's very tall.
Put it on my bill.
Damn it!
Don't fight it.
That's the game we want to make.
Yep.
Punchlines.
Yep, that's the game working. Sorry, Brooke. As it designed.
Fine.
I'll never forget Allard getting the doofer, obviously the best moment of history, but also Evan getting Wesley Crusher. He really took that personally. God, I mean, Brian's not a narc.
No.
I don't,
I don't feel
crying in
like
the bathroom.
either of these fit. Brian, which one do you want to be?
Campus police, because I don't want to cry.
No.
No, I'm going to.
Oh, no.
Brian's a cool campus police guy.
That's right.
He's like, just turn the music down a little bit.
Yeah.
You
We
guys
all-
can keep going.
Listen, we all have fun. It's fine. Not to brag, but I don't really get a lot of homework in my school. That's bragging.
Yeah, it's totally bad.
You're just bragging.
Good for you.
I think our chat
Must be
computer went to
nice.
sleep.
On
You
it.
guys should be livelier in the chat.
Yeah, keep our chat awake.
You've each got some
Data
Let's
analysis.
see what the data tells us. You.
This might be my favorite
judging
riff
by your
from this game.
rolls,
A little low-key, bassy one.
You're this,
Thank you.
and you're also this. That makes no sense to our algorithm.
I think it's
We're
true.
going to find out which quality fits you better. What is the best theme for a romantic hotel suite? Answer this prompt on your device. Then the other subjects will vote on your response.
Schissel Squirrel says, Chat is dead. Quick, say something
It's
illegal.
not dead. We can see you.
I love weed.
All right, they're out of questions for us. So we're done. See you later.
Bye.
I have a question. Is
here-
there a music style or an influence that you'd like to incorporate into a Jackbox game that you guys haven't done yet?
Brian refuses to answer questions.
I don't know. I think I've hit all styles. At this point, it's like I'm not well, but I've tried everything
You get to
at
go
least
two ways.
once.
Oh, man.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I never really know until I
I
see the game,
Yeah.
and I go,
Yeah.
oh wait, I haven't done that.
Yeah. And it's
So-
more fun to think about what styles you can mix, too.
Right.
So there are combinations we haven't hit yet.
You guys are like twins, but one of you has to be better. You've been pushed on stage to do stand-up comedy at an open mic. You have nothing prepared. How do you start? Answer the prompt on your devices, and we'll settle this once and for all.
Both great selfies.
Stod asked what the inspiration for Old Man was. He started out actually with a Slavic accent. Not many people know that.
Oh, really?
I didn't know that.
In the first Jack games, he has a very thick accent.
Is he just in the background, like in the sign-in phase?
Yeah, he's like
Your
a
devices now.
crew member. And
It's anti-comedy. I think the times I did stand up, I think I usually walked on and just went, I don't know.
Brooks got a
What
real
do I
Andy
do?
Kaufman routine.
I'm just gonna start. Is it Michigan J Frog?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm just
yeah,
gonna start
yeah.
dancing around like Michigan J Frog.
Sorry, Andy. So he was like in the sign-in phase.
yeah, his foil was Tom Gottlieb had a character called Tomas.
Mm.
And the two of them used to have dialogues in the background. There's one where between the two of them, they actually just repeated a Zest soap commercial. Like, Old Man says, zestfully clean, and Tomas said, zestfully clean. And then Old Man said, you're not fully clean until you're zestfully clean. That was just in the background, like over a headset.
As if it was like a lesson for him.
I think they were just having a conversation.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Okay, I think we've got this one.
Brian had one of my favorite background characters, Ray.
Ray's dumb.
Whoa.
Ray and Schmitty were.
So
That was the
I have a
holding the
great
nose
outtake.
character, right?
I have a great blooper.
What?
That was always sort of like, yeah, like a sort of a nasally character.
No, it's just my voice.
Okay. Maybe it was over like a microphone, maybe. I don't know.
here's the problem. I don't know that anyone truly fits on a warm Bud Light.
I know. You're right.
Yeah.
And it actually fits you the least because you're such a beer guy, but I also chose you for it because you're such a beer guy.
I also.
I sort of say
that
I'm probably the
exact
person that
thing.
would like just drink it.
Yes.
Let's see what everyone picked.
Yep, I was Ray Star.
I have a great outtake of Ray
Really?
and Schmitty, if I can find it.
Oh, is it because I'm a woman?
I figured you would
Okay.
drink Long Island iced tea because you drink Cosmos, right? Or
I
something like
absolutely
that.
would.
Yeah.
I don't really, but if
But-
I would.
Yeah.
I thought the Long Island iced tea was a girlier drink, so I gave it to myself.
Gotcha.
You really know yourself.
Yeah.
Or at least what your friends
That's
think of
definitely a
you.
Brian drink.
Yep.
Classy.
Classy.
You won't remember choosing this.
I enjoy all of these drinks except for the warm Bud Light. I would have been satisfied with any of.
Yeah.
I would drink it.
You have to roll with the audience bonus
Wouldn't be
points.
happy about it. I would drink it.
I wouldn't like it.
But
I don't like this, but I'm getting drunk.
here's a question: did any of you like go to say weddings or sporting events and drink like leftover alcohol from people?
I'm sorry?
Yeah,
Like Spalding in Caddyshack?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've seen this so much. I feel like in the last 5 years, we were at the Cubs game, and
Yep.
there was like people just aggressively who were probably like 17 going around like,
Okay, well,
I'm like,
wait.
yeah.
17 I kind of get.
yeah, but still,
That's
the
pretty
whole thing's
disgusting.
like I don't know a half full Bud Light at Wrigley Field that's probably been out there for 2
Oh,
innings.
it's like a
and-
cigarette in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We used to go to people's houses in like middle school or high school and drink their parents' alcohol and fill it back up with water.
Yeah.
yeah.
That was a big thing.
Answer the prompt on your devices.
I couldn't
At some
imagine,
point,
yeah.
you were also just drinking water every time you went over. Like, it
Right,
was just
yeah.
water.
Just that our tolerance was going up.
It's like I've had 3 bottles of scotch. Like, why am I not getting drunk?
There's a question about what advice you would give to up-and-coming people who want to compose for games, and I think Andy should answer that.
All right. Have it be the mid 90s.
Mm-hmm.
There you have it.
Don't have a job.
Vote on your devices now.
I don't know. I don't know what it's like now, but I would just say make music as much as you can and make music for friends, videos, and for anything you can, and just start building up a reel.
The results are in.
So when job opens up, you just send them to your webpage with all the things that you've created. And,
Based on your roles, your total
for me, that's the
is-
best.
If you look at the data a certain
It
way,
seems
that
like
is.
that is the
We're
best advice for a lot of creative work
find
is
out which of you is
just
better at being you.
make something that you can
What's
show
the
people.
worst
Yep.
thing you
Right.
can say on a
Totally.
first date? I want both of you to write an answer that matches the trait above you. The rest of you will decide who wins.
Okay, I have another question for Andy and Brian. Is there an album or an artist you're really digging right now?
Oh, it's a good question.
Thanks for that question.
Let me pull up my Spotify 2019 stuff I like.
This is all Enya.
Well, I'm a huge fan of Car Seat Headrest.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They're one of my faves,
I feel so much better now.
and they're actually fans of our games. They play some of our stuff on the road.
Oh, cool.
Oh, that's cool.
I don't know. I listen to the Michigan State radio station. It's actually pretty cool. So I have one-offs of a lot of weird bands that you'd probably never know. Let's see what I got in here. This guy Kane Strang. He's from New Zealand. He's kind of like the sugar plastic.
I'm a quasi-mom.
Most total science pellets is
You are a quasi mom.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Well, the super melodramatic's definitely accurate.
Sorry, I missed the last thing because I was laughing at my quasi-mom, Andy.
Yeah, I'm looking at like recently played here. I just listened to the new Jeff Lynne ELO album.
Is that good?
Yeah, it's great. It's like all his other stuff. It's always good.
He's my idol.
Really?
Yeah.
And you like DLO.
I like. Let's see, Courtney Barnett. I like her stuff. And I've been listening to a lot of Why Not, which is this. They started out as this Rush cover band, and now they do their own stuff, and they're amazing. They're really good.
Is it? Does it? Their stuff sound like Rush?
Yeah,
That's cool.
they have a woman who's the singer, but she sounds like Geddy Lee. So it's very
Nice.
strange.
What are you listening to these days, Brian?
I'm sad. I don't listen to a lot of new stuff. I listen
You
to
okay?
yeah. I'm not. I listen to a lot of classical music.
Sure.
That's what I've been listening to lately. But I don't pay enough attention to know who the composer is or anything like that. So it's just kind of this background sound. But yeah, the new stuff I listen to is like Andy says, "Hey, check out this band," and then I do that. That's pretty much how it works.
I've had those relationships with people throughout my whole life. I've never been very good at following music, but I have people just like giving me advice on tracks.
Yeah.
Same. I also love having classical music on in the background while I'm working.
I like ambient class. I also listen to like 20s jazzy stuff when I work for whatever reason. I don't know.
That's the one bummer about this job is that I can never listen to music while I'm working. So
You don't even listen to your own music.
God, no. I was going to add that I really like the new Angel Olsen album. It's very good. I recommend highly.
Someone should create a Spotify playlist of all of the people that Andy just mentioned.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or I could just send you my Spotify.
Oh, well, that works too.
A question that scrolled by as we wrap up here. What software and hardware do you guys use in production?
The DAW we use is Digital Performer. We're not Pro Tools guys. It's kind of what you learn on, and that's what we learned on. And then, Omnisphere is this great synth, giant instrument. What else?
Contact.
What's Contact?
It's a lot of instruments in one, a whole bunch of lots of sampled instruments, everything from pianos to basses to keyboards, horns, strings.
Right.
Cool.
And then I usually for each project I'll get a new toy for that thing. I don't know if you noticed, but I use a lot of flute lately because I found this really cool flute patch that sounds like a real flute, and so I tend to play with the new stuff.
Awesome.
Cool. Yeah, the vocalist for Zeepeldome is actually a stomp box. It is an actual pedal for a guitar. So the singing you hear is actually a guitar being played through this weird box that I bought.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
Is there any vocode stuff in there? Because I thought there was one part where it actually sounds like it's saying Zeepeldome, or it could just be my imagination.
I think it's just your imagination.
That's awesome.
Also told you to burn down some buildings, didn't
Yeah,
it?
it's no, my dog told me to do that.
Stod said you guys should compose some music on stream sometime. So
It would be awesome.
Sure.
I don't know if your process is such that you want to do that, but I would love to watch that.
I think Ben Folds did that once on PBS. It's like, give me a lyric idea, and he wrote a whole song in real time.
That's great.
Yep. That was pretty cool.
Give me a C, a bouncy C. Yeah, maybe we can do that sometime.
I would love it. I would honestly be thrilled to get an insight into that. Well, cool. Any other last questions before we wrap up here?
Yeah, we'll check the art tag next week, just because we went a little bit long.
yeah, we're pushing up against it. So all right. Well, thanks everyone for stopping by. Thanks Brian. Thanks
Sure.
Andy.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I always love talking to you.
Thanks for
guys.
having us.
All right. Well, on that note, we need some. We need some music or something. We need something to bring us out. All I
We should
have
do-
are
Too bad we don't have any
sounds of
musicians.
breaking glass.
It's turning off the lamp.
Oh,
Yeah.
All right. Oh, go ahead.
Nope, that was it. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll
Yeah.
see you tomorrow with Ben's stream, and then we'll see you back at the Party Club next week.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Boogaloo.